Part 196. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1952. Qian walked out while rubbing her eyes. She saw Lu Ligan and Wen Wen lying on the bamboo bed. Qian walked back, came out after a while, and pushed out Lu Wenkin's crib. Wen saw it and asked, "Dai, what do you want to do? If you want to sleep, sleep together. Our whole family is sleeping here today," Qian said. Lu Ligan and Wen Wen both laughed. Qian walked over and lay down on the other side of Lu Li's pole. This 1-meter-3-meter bamboo bed was too crowded for 3 people to sleep upright, so she simply turned sideways and left a row of feet outside the bed. "Will the bed collapse?" Lu Ligan asked. "Never mind him, no one will sleep with him anymore anyway," Wen Wen said. "What, this idiot wants to leave?" Qian asked after hearing what Wen Wen said. Wen Wen said, "Yes, there are some things I will tell you tomorrow." Qian sighed and said, "Okay." The 3 of them were silent. Wen Wen and Qian hugged Lu Ligan. Although there was a cool breeze on the platform, it was summer after all. Lu Ligan was squeezed by 2 people and felt a little hot. He was sweating after a while. Yes, he found that it was not sweat, but the 2 people lying in his arms, one on the left and one on the right, who were crying silently, and it was the tears that soaked his clothes. Lu Ligan looked at the top of his head. The glass ceiling above his head was covered by the dense branches and leaves of the grapevines. He couldn't even see a star. Lu Ligan had thought many times while lying here that he should do something on top of his head. A hole, so that I can lie here and look up at the stars, or let the moonlight leak in and illuminate this place. But during the day, he forgot about it. Now, alas, he didn't have to think about it anymore. Just like Wen Wen said, he was leaving anyway. Lu Lizu hugged Wen Wen and Qian and couldn't help but shed tears. "This idiot, I didn't expect it would make people's hearts hurt," Qian scolded. Lu Ligan said, "You are an old gangster, what do you have to feel sad about?" Qian shook her head, "No, you are not a gangster. There are so many girls in the farmhouse. You have never thought about them, and you have never even touched them. How can a gangster do it?" When Qian was talking, Wen Wen nodded on the other side, and Qian continued. "You only act hooligan to those you like. You are still very polite to others. You think I don't know? If you were a hooligan, you would have long." "How have you been?" Lu Ligan asked. "We cut it off," Qian said. Lu Ligan smiled and said, fortunately, it is still complete today, not a single part is missing." Wen Wen and Qian moved their heads up at the same time, and their faces were close to Lu Ligan's. After a while, the tears of the 3 people flowed out again. They just cried silently with tears. Wen Wen said, "Why do you always want to make people feel sad? Do you know that we were very sad when you drove us away from Hiken that year? It's still unreliable, and it always makes people worried," Qian said. "When you go to Chenzhou and Yangzhou alone, we are always worried that you will not come back. Only when you get here do you feel at ease, but again." But so what, there was no need to say any more. Lu Lipol turned his head and kissed the 2 people on their faces. "By the way, when I leave, you and the people here, don't say that I'm gone, just say that there is something going on in the company and I must go back to work. I will also tell the brain case and Wurongui the same thing," Lu Ligang said to Wen Wen. Qian. "Why?" Wen Wen asked. "Let them feel that the adults in the family are still there. Otherwise, just you 2 girls, I'm afraid someone will bully you. If anything happens, just call me," Lu Ligan said. "Don't worry, no one will dare to bully us," Wen Wen said. "However, it is better for you to go back to work, so that we can look better, otherwise, we will be like 2 people no one wants." As Wen Wen said that, the 2 of them started crying again. When they cried, Lu Ligan also became sad. The three people just talked and cried, and when the mist poured in from the window and enveloped their figures in the light blue mist, they fell asleep unknowingly. August is the hottest season in Hangzhou, but for Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan, the hottest thing is not the weather, but their hearts and every construction site that is rushing to complete the work. When Zhang Xiangbei and Xiao Wu returned to Yongcheng from Shaoguan, it was already evening. They had dinner with Xiang Nan, Ding Yusong, and the others, and then continued on their way to Hangcheng without stopping in Yongcheng. Zhang Xiangbei didn't have time to watch the performance. Xiang Nan said to him, "It doesn't matter. We have taken a complete video and saved it as the group's information. This is the only one in the world. What you see online are all the clips taken by the audience's mobile phones. Namu has not yet accepting invitations from any media, is just accepting invitations from our group." Zhang Xiangbei said, "Okay, then I'll take a look when I'm free. When I go to Hangzhou, I will bring you a copy disc," Xiang Nan said. At this time, the Yongcheng International Street Theatre Festival has come to an end. It was already past 10 o'clock in the evening when Zhang Xiangbei and Xiao Wu returned to Hangzhou. Instead of going home, the two went directly to the logistics base of Jubeo. Wu Huan was still waiting for them. Zaixian Shui is located at the Banmuishan logistics base in Jubeo. It borrowed a conference room and 3 offices in the base. One of the 3 offices was given to the finance department and the other 2. Wu Huan gave Wu Yu their technology department. The coming and going of people is not good for them. The other people were all crowded in the conference room, and the conference table was not even removed. Everyone worked on the conference table, and there were no special seats. Anyway, whoever needed to sit, even Zhang Xiangbei and Xiao Wu, because they had been outside, there is no dedicated seat for them. Only Wu Huan, because she sits here every day, over time, the seat at the head of the conference table became her special seat. Behind her are 2 large whiteboards, taking up the entire wall. One whiteboard is covered with densely packed A4 paper, and the other is empty. Wu Huan will write down what each department has to do that day on the whiteboard. Everyone will understand when they come in and take a look. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiao Wu went in and saw Wu Huan sitting alone in the conference room. Wu Huan saw them and shouted happily, "Great, I finally have you back." Zhang Xiangbei asked, "Where are the others?" "Off work." "No matter how lucky they are, they all go to the workshop to help," Wu Huan said. 2 little girls have already cried in front of me and said that they worked overtime every day and their boyfriends were about to break up with them. I said, "Hurry up." "Well, after our home fresh delivery is launched, I'll contact the TV station and organize a special If You Are the One show for you so you can turn off the lights and enjoy it." Zhang Xiangbei and Xiao Wu laughed. Wu Huan stood up with a whiteboard pen in her hand. She tapped the whiteboard covered with A4 paper with the pen and said, "Come and take a look. This is what we have to do. Take a look and see if there is anything else you need to add." Zhang Xiangbei and Xiao Wu walked over and saw those A4 papers, written on each department. By September 14th and October 9th, before the home fresh delivery is officially launched, everything needs to be done. There are a total of 2,367 items. After each item, the required completion time is also listed. 1/3 of them are ticked, indicating that they have been completed. It also reminds everyone that there are still so many things waiting to be completed. The electronic version has been sent to your email. "I guess you haven't had time to read it yet," Wu Huan said. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiao Wu watched as Wu Huan took the whiteboard pen and went to another whiteboard to write down the things that each department had to do the next day. The website of Zaixian Delivery was originally planned to be launched on October 1st, but after Zhang Xiangbei and others discussed it, they felt that they should avoid the National Day holiday. During the National Day holiday, the flow of people, logistics, and traffic are chaotic and unpredictable. There were too many factors, so the launch date was postponed to October 10th. but on September 15th, they have an enterprise version of the website that will be launched quietly. They will not promote this website, and there will not even be a website name for Zicien Delivery on the website. Enter the domain name or Zicien Delivery Fresh Delivery, a window will appear with a username and login password. After logging in, the homepage of Fresh Delivery will appear. When the Zicien Shui website is officially launched, this temporary web page will disappear, and a business user button will appear in the upper right corner of the Zicien Shui homepage. The reason for doing this is that they feel that it is better for them to do it in 2 steps, so that they will not be in a hurry due to too many customers suddenly appearing. Procurement, logistics, and distribution, if they don't know which link will go wrong. Now, in the 3 cities of Shanghai, Nanjing, and Hangzhou, in addition to signing cooperation agreements with various communities, they have also signed supply contracts with more than 13,000 units, schools, hospitals, and hotels of all sizes. They didn't expect that their project would be so popular with users in these units, but they understood it after thinking about it carefully. Whether it is public units, schools, hospitals, or private hotels, the price and rebate issues in procurement have always been a headache for leaders and bosses of the units. There is now a website that supplies vegetables at the lowest prices in the city and is delivered to your door. All purchase quantities and prices are in the order and can be checked at any time. This is equivalent to helping them and completely solving the problem. As for those individual restaurants, the price itself is very attractive to them. In addition, they can also deliver the food to their door at the agreed time, saving them the trouble of going to the vegetable market to purchase. Why not? Zhang Xiangbei and the others decided to focus on unit users first. Relatively speaking, the workload of distribution is not that large. It is a process of training and adaptation for their delivery teams in each city. Same for each of their branches. That simple and inconspicuous website is just for the convenience of these unit users to place orders every day. While they are delivering to unit users and the company's business has actually started, the cooperative communities in each city are also busy installing fresh keeping cabinets and publicizing in the communities. On October 10th, the fresh delivery to homes will begin. A stunning debut day. On that day, they will no longer be low-key. In order to meet the September 15th, the whole company became nervous. September 15th was an invisible whip, spurring each of them. Thank you to the distressed brother Ming, Xiao Hujuan Sa, and the 2 fishes for the reward. Thank you to brother Ming of distress, White Teeth of the Sky, Book Friends 202011091113511923, Light Dust Dash, Wind Jungle Spinach, Guandian Mechanical and Electrical, Daos Hung 123, LW. Norvi, Yuangzi, Zongkai 727, Book Friends 201711192342199749, Book Friends 20181130105305305944 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 1953. After returning to Hangzhou, Zhang Xiangbei got up and left at dawn every day. He didn't even eat breakfast. He told his grandma and grandma that it was too late and went to work to eat. Once there, he was busy until 2 or 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Return. Sometimes he simply doesn't come back. Zhang Xiangbei's grandma said to his grandmother, "Why is it even harder for us to see Baibei after he comes back from the United States than in the United States? When we were in the United States, we couldn't meet him in person. You can also video, but now I don't even have time for video." Grandma also smiled bitterly and shook her head. Zhang Xiangzi pouted on the side and said, "Grandma, Grandma, let me tell you, Baibei doesn't even want me anymore." Zhang Chen's mother quickly told Zhang Xiangzi, "It's not that my brother doesn't want you, it's that he is very busy with work now and has no time to play with you." You must not be angry with your brother. Then Bai Bei doesn't have time to play with you anymore, so you can't be angry, Zhang Xiangzi said, and both grandma and grandma laughed. When he is not going home, Zhang Xiangbei is at the logistics base, huddled in the staff dormitory to sleep for a while with the employees below. Anyway, there will always be someone working in the dormitory, and there will be an empty bed. As for whose bed it is, it doesn't matter whose bed it is. Summer beds are basically the same, with straw mats, pillows and towels and quilts. Just distinguish the rooms and don't go to the women's dormitory. Grandma and grandma looked distressed and nagged Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang, saying that they didn't want to help Zhang Xiangbei and let him do so much alone. Zhang Chen asked Zhang Xiangbei, "Do you have enough people there? Do you want me to send some people over to help you?" "No, no, no, it's useless even if you come here. For those who do manual labor, Uncle Xiao is at the logistics base. Just call him and you'll be there," Zhang Xiangbei said. After Zhang Xiangbei left, Xiao Fang and Zhang Chen said, "Bai Bei has his own working methods. He doesn't want us to interfere, so just leave it alone." Zhang Chen said, "Then I am also a shareholder after all, and it is normal for me to be in charge." Xiao Fang smiled and said, "Now you remember that you are a shareholder? Tell me what you want to know, and I will tell you." Zhang Chen was surprised and asked, "You know everything I don't know?" "Yes, Wu Huan talks to me on the phone every other day. This is one of her jobs as a CEO, so I told you to leave it alone," Xiao Fang said. Zhang Chen said, "Okay, as long as the two old ladies don't complain to me." The Yongchen International Street Theater Festival ended. The troupe took a 10-day holiday and went south to Hangzhou to help Zhang Xiangbei and the others. Ding Yusong and Yin Tao also volunteered to help. Zhang Xiangbei refused Zhang Chen's reinforcements, but welcomed Xiang Nan and Ding Yusong. The additional office area in the warehouse has been completed, and a large amount of office furniture and equipment are being shipped in the past 2 days. Xiang Nan and Yin Tao can't get involved in other matters, so they help with sanitation. Ding Yusong carries a box of network cables every day, or carrying a ladder and following 2 people from the technical department to help install network cables. There were too many network cables to pull throughout the warehouse, and Wu Yu and the others were divided into 2 groups. One group continued to work on the website and built the database, and the other group spread out to 3 cities to help install the computer room. The manpower was quite tight. A dozen electricians from the Banmushan logistics base in the city were all called over by Erhuo and Xiao to help. In the evening, Zhang Xiangbei called Xiangnan and told her to go to Tuxianjiayuan for dinner. Ding Yusong heard it from the side and wanted to go too. Zhang Xiangbei told him, "I will treat you to a midnight snack tonight. Now, please continue working here. By the way, if you have nothing to do, help me wipe the office table a few times." Zhang Xiangbei finally has his own office. The furniture was just delivered today and Xiangnan and Yin Tao have already cleaned it for him. "Get out," Ding Yusong cursed. Zhang Xiangbei laughed and led Xiangnan down. Xiangnan saw Zhang Xiangbei's Audi R8 parked at the door and was about to go over. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Take Uncle Xiao's car and he will go too." Xiang Nan murmured in his heart, "What kind of meal are they going to have?" Uncle Xiao Wu is going with him, but not Ding Yusong and Yin Tao. When have these 2 people wanted to have a meal, Zhang Xiangbei has refused. Not only did Xiang Nan feel strange, but Zhang Chen also felt strange. In the morning, Zhang Xiangbei called him and said that he and Xiao Fang would be invited to have dinner at Tuxianjiayuan in the evening. He had already booked a private room and said he must come. "If you have something to say to them." Not long after Xiao Fang arrived at Zhang Chen's office, Tan Shuhen and Lao Tan came. The 2 of them also said that Zhang Xiangbei called them and wanted to invite them to dinner and they must come. "What is this guy doing?" Zhang Chen asked. "Is their company going to open early?" Lao Tan asked. Xiao Fang said, "No, then we would definitely know." Lao Tan remembered that Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang were both shareholders of Zixi and Shui. The four of them sat and chatted for a while. Then the second-rate guy came in from the door. Zhang Chen asked curiously, "You were so quiet, why did you come here?" "Bai Bei called me and said he wanted me to come over for dinner. He also said he must come." "What's the matter?" Huo asked, and the four of them all shook their heads. Then, Han Emperor Lu Bang, Wu Ziyawai and Wei Venfang also arrived. They all said that Zhang Xiangbei called them and told them to come. He also said that he had something to tell them, but not one of the people present knew what it was. "Have no idea." Lao Tan looked at his watch and said, "No matter what, Bai Bei calls us. Nothing bad will happen. Let's go. It's almost time." Everyone got up, took the elevator downstairs, and sat down in the box. Less than 5 minutes later, Zhang Xiangbei, Xiangnan, and Xiao Wu arrived. Zhang Chen asked Zhang Xiangbei, "You called so many people here, what's going on?" Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, "Let's eat." "What are we going to eat?" "Today is not the weekend and everyone is very busy," Zhang Chen said. "If it's not the weekend, can't we have dinner together?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. Zhang Chen was about to say something when Zhang Xiangbei's phone rang. He picked it up and looked at it before walking out. Everyone looked at Xiang Nan, who quickly waved. "Don't look at me, I don't know anything." "I don't know either," Xiao Wu said. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, laughed and said, "This meal is interesting. Bai Bei has set up a riddle for us all to guess." Zhang Chen stood up and walked to the door and looked into the corridor. Zhang Xiangbei had long gone without knowing where he was. Zhang Chen came back and cursed. "This kid, call us all over. It would be better for him to just answer the phone and leave." Everyone laughed. The waiter opened the door and came in and asked, "Mr. Zhang, can we serve the food?" Zhang Chen said, "Go ahead," turned around and said to everyone, "Ignore him, we will eat ours." Of course, the food in the boss's box was served quickly, and the wine and drinks were also filled. Zhang Chen and Xiang Nan said, "Xiang Nan, Zhang Xiangbei is not here, please toast everyone." After Xiang Nan said yes, she raised her cup and said to everyone, "I wish my uncles, aunts, and mother good health." Everyone picked up their cups and were about to drink. The door of the box opened and Zhang Xiangbei came back. Zhang Chen was about to say something to him when another person came in behind him. Everyone was stunned. The cup in Tan Shahan's hand fell on the tablecloth. It cracked with a pop, and the drinks spilled on the table, but no one even looked at it. Only the waiter came over immediately, picked up the broken cup, wiped the wet tablecloth clean with a napkin, and then spread a new orange napkin with the same color as the tablecloth. Everyone stared at the door, and they saw that the person coming in behind Zhang Xiangbei turned out to be Lu Ligan. Forced to raise. The second guy cursed and rushed over. Xiao Wu and Wu Ziyawai also rushed over. The three of them grabbed Lu Ligan's hands, cut them behind his back, and pushed Lu Ligan from the door to the table. The second guy shouted, "You are forced to raise me. First of all, I apologize to everyone for causing everyone to look for you for so long." Lu Ligan smiled and said, "Okay, I apologize, I deserve to die, I have to bow my head and admit my guilt." "Why bow your head and plead guilty? First punish yourself with 3 cups of wine, you are forced to raise me," said the second-rate guy. "Okay, I'll punish you, but do you want to let me go first?" Lu Ligan shouted. "Let you go, can you humming escape?" Wu Ziyawai asked. "I have thousands of couriers and a reward of 400,000 but they can't humming find you. Where have you been hiding?" "I won't leave, I promise I won't leave," Lu Ligan said, and then the 3 people let him go. After such a fuss, everyone in the box came to their senses, with smiles on their faces. Zhang Chen asked Lu Ligan to sit down quickly, and Lu Ligan sat down without saying anything. He first punished himself with 3 drinks, and then starting from Lao Tan, everyone paid respect. He said to Lao Tan, "Thank you, brother." Lao Tan patted him on the shoulder. The second one was Hanjao Zulubang. Before he could speak, Hanjao Zulubang said, "Just come back." When he paid tribute to Zhang Chen, he said, "I'm sorry" to Zhang Chen. This was to apologize for hanging up on Zhang Chen and other things. Zhang Chen replied, "Go away." When paying tribute to Tan Shahen, Lu Ligan and Tan Shahen said, "Thank you for your hard work." Tan Shahen didn't say anything. She drank up the juice in the cup and turned her head away, but her eyes were already red. She jumped over Zhang Xiangbei, and the last one went to Xiangnan. Xiangnan sat there and pursed her lips tightly. When Lu Lipol came over, she did not pick up the cup. Zhang Xiangbei touched her and said to Xiangnan, "Why did you touch me? I saw it." Zhang Xiangbei said, "Uncle Zanzi is here to toast you." "That's your uncle, not mine," Xiangnan said. As soon as Xiangnan said this, there was silence in the box. Except for Tan Shahen, who lowered his head, everyone looked at Lu Ligan and Xiangnan. Lu Ligan stood there with a cup in his hand, looking a little embarrassed. Xiangnan sat there. He had no intention of standing up. For a moment, the atmosphere in the box was a little solemn. Zhang Chen stood up and wanted to walk over, but Xiaofang held him back. Xiaofang shook her head at him. Xiangnan sighed softly, turned around, looked at Lu Ligan and said, "My name is Feng Xiangnan. I will be called Feng Xiangnan all my life. I won't change my name to Lu Xiangnan. Is that okay?" "No need to change," Lu Ligan said. "Okay," Xiangnan said, "if this is the case, I will recognize you as my father." Tan Shahen sobbed softly. Xiaofang held her hand. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Okay, let's have another drink together and welcome this bastard back." Putting down their cups, Xiangnan and Zhang Xiangbei said, "It's your turn to tell the truth. Why are you with him? When did you find him?" Zhang Xiangbei said, "I didn't find it, I encountered it by chance, 11 days ago." 11 days ago, Xiangnan asked. Lu Ligan quickly said, "I don't blame Bai. I asked him not to tell anyone first. I need time to deal with things over there before I can come back." Xiangnan looked at Zhang Xiangbei and snorted. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, "I also received a call from Uncle Zanzi this morning, saying that he had set off and returned. That's why I booked this box and called everyone together to let Uncle Zanzi explain himself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to explain clearly." "Bai, did you meet him in Ningyuan?" Xiao Wu thought that the only time he and Zhang Xiangbei were separated along the way was when Zhang Xiangbei went to Ningyuan. Zhang Xiangbei was right, it was the same at the edge of a reservoir in a ravine. In a private room of a hotel, Uncle Zanzi walked in. Zhang Xiangbei probably told everyone how he met Lu Ligan. However, he did not talk about Wen Wen and Qian Qian, nor Lu Wenqian. In those cases, it was really only Lu Ligan himself who went to meet Tan Shahen. Zhang Xiangbei had no way to say whether a person would explain or not. "No wonder thousands of people, can't find you. It turns out you've been hiding in that damn place," Wu Zaiwai said. "Thank you to Wine Jungle Spinach, UN11, Tian Wei Wei Wei, Yuju, Dragon King 123,777, Zonkai 727, and Distressed Brother Ming for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1954. Except for Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan, everyone present here is a smart person with rich enough experience. After a round of excitement, they all know that sad things cannot be mentioned, such as the name Meng Ping, and Lu Ligan cannot ask about unspeakable things. For example, why did he and Lao Meng disappear in the first place? This kind of thing is in the past. From now on, just pretend that it never happened, as long as the person comes back. There are also some things, such as what Lu Ligan has done outside for so many years. Lu Ligan can only tell Zhang Chen and Tan Shahen about these things, so that they can know, and they will gradually know in the future. Let them know without asking again. The topic soon turned to the just concluded Yongcheng International Street Art Festival, and Zhang Xiangbei's company. Everyone present was elders, and only the two of them were juniors. It is normal for elders to care about the work of juniors. Xiangnan told them about the art festival, especially about Namua. He talked about the fog ball, the erected cup and the bench, which suddenly aroused everyone's interest. They all said that it was too great. It's amazing. Xiaofang said that special abilities are not pseudoscience. People with special abilities do exist. Even Newton and Einstein are also people with special abilities. It is difficult for other people to reach their heights, but their ability is manifested in science, and the results can be seen. Others, such as perfumers and sommeliers, have different senses of smell and taste than ordinary people. Even good chefs, you have to admit, they are people with special abilities. The same raw materials, ingredients, and seasonings, even if they are cooked in the same kitchen and the same pot, they will taste better than others. This is not what is a special ability. We humans have too little research on ourselves, and our understanding is too shallow. As for the chef I mentioned, no scientist in the world can explain it clearly, and there is no way to copy an exact chef. Today's artificial intelligence and robots can already defeat humans in playing Go and chess, but it will be much more difficult to create a machine chef that can beat chefs. All the chess records can be input into the computer to create Go and chess masters, but even if you input all the recipes in the world into a computer, you still won't be able to create a second-rate chef. This Namua, she is a person who has special talents in a certain aspect. This ability cannot be explained or thoroughly studied. If her ability can be thoroughly studied, there may be a qualitative improvement in many aspects. If we make a leap, mankind will make great progress. Everyone agreed with Xiaofang's statement. Xiangnan stood up and showed them the breathtaking technique that Namua taught her, and also sang a piece. Tan Shahen secretly admired it. She felt that even when she was young, she couldn't do it. Although other people were not so professional in duet singing, but they were all impressed by Xiangnan's breath being so long. And Xiaofang is right. I just learned a little bit and I feel that it has benefited a lot. Our whole group also feels that she has helped us completely subvert the original vocal method, Xiangnan said. Then talking about Zhang Xiangbei's home delivery, Wei Wenfang said, such a huge logistics and such a large delivery volume, sometimes we are scared to death just thinking about it. Is your courier company different? Zhang Chen asked. The difference is huge, Wei Wenfang said. By the way, Bai Bei, have you ever thought about which link in your entire process might be stuck? You must have a plan, otherwise the whole process will be paralyzed. Zhang Xiangbei thought for a moment and said, let's deliver it. After all, there is such a large quantity and it is not easy to deliver it on time every day. But fortunately, we already have a way. What can we do? Wu Ziyawai asked. First, the second-hand uncle is very supportive of us. He has transferred the backbone of the original logistics base to us for the delivery team in each city. We are established on their basis. They already have delivery experience. Now every day, I am taking the newly recruited people to get familiar with the roads in each city. Second, we have divided the institutional users and individual users into two parts instead of lumping them together. On the 15th of next month, the institutional users will go online first, and the individual users will go online on October 10th, so that there is a buffer. Expect. The two-step idea is very good, Wei Wenfang said. However, according to our experience, distribution will not be the difficulty. If it is not possible, just add more people and vehicles, and reduce the distribution area. The most difficult part is, it's actually sorting. We call it sorting, I don't know what you call it. We also call it sorting, Zhang Xiangbei said. There will be no problem in sorting. We still learned from you, and we are also planning to divide the work into districts first and then divide it into communities. Wei Wenfang and Wu Ziyawai shook their heads together. Wei Wenfang said, sorting is the biggest problem, and it is the same for us. You are more complicated than us. Even Lao Tan and Han Emperor Liu Bang found it strange. Lao Tan asked, what's so difficult about sorting? Isn't it just like the postal and telecommunications offices delivering letters and newspapers in the past? Just distribute the letters and newspapers on each street to different postmen and let them deliver them. In those days, bicycles were all used as means of transportation. More progress. Yes, Brother Tan, you are right. Our sorting process is also based on this. But it turns out that there are only so many newspapers and letters on one street, one postman, 2 mail packages on the bookshelf, and the front stalls are hung a postal parcel contained newspapers and letters from more than a dozen streets. Furthermore, at that speed, even if a letter arrives in one place, such as Hangzhou, it will take 2 or 3 days to reach your hand. It takes 1 day to go from the city bureau to the branch office, and another day to go from the branch office to each post office. The postman starts delivering again. Can you still accept the current speed? Even if customers can accept it, we ourselves can't accept it? Xiao Wu knows that in Hangzhou, we have more than 60 express trucks a day. This is normal. If there is double 11 or something, even more, if it is not delivered by the day, our warehouse will be overcrowded and the whole warehouse will be paralyzed. I calculated that Bai's volume is almost 10 times that of ours. Now, the pieces we send to Hangzhou every day must be delivered to the customer on the same day. To achieve this, we have to send twice a day from the warehouse of our headquarters to the warehouse of the branch. So many pieces arrive at the headquarters in the early morning. Cars that arrive before 4 o'clock will basically be sorted within an hour or two, and delivery to each branch will begin at 5 or 6 o'clock. After the branch receives it, it has to be sorted into each delivery truck, and then the courier delivers it. If any of these two sorting links is delayed, it will affect the courier's delivery. Trucks that arrive after 4 o'clock the sorting must be completed in the morning and must be delivered to the branch at noon. You also have to consider the problem of traffic jams. Now at the headquarters, fully automatic sorting has been implemented, and the efficiency has improved a lot, so we can relax. It turns out that every early morning, Wu Ziyawai and I have to run to the warehouse to help with the sorting. There is no way, we really have to. It's like fighting a war. If you wear a shirt in the snow, you'll be covered in stinky sweat after work. Wei Wenfang looked at Zhang Xiangbei and said, Bei, we are still doing 2-level sorting, and the workload is just that big. You have more volume than us, and you are still doing 1-level sorting. I don't know how much greater the workload is than us. Bei, your vegetables are not sorted automatically, right? Wu Ziyawai asked. Zhang Xiangbei said, there is no way yet. Wei Wenfang sighed and said, that's much more difficult than ours. Our sorting is done in whole pieces. A parcel is a piece. You are sorting one piece. There are many varieties. For example, it is normal for a family to buy more than a dozen kinds of vegetables a day. Right? A dozen items are sorted once. A dozen items need to be sorted a dozen times. It takes a dozen times to complete the sorting of one piece. Oh my God. When Wei Wenfang and Wu Ziyawai said this, Zhang Xiangbei immediately realized the seriousness of the matter. Neither he nor Wu Huan had any experience in this area and did not regard sorting as a difficult task. Big things, I always think that procurement is very important, distribution is very important, logistics is very important, but I didn't expect that sorting is the most important. Zhang Chen was listening on the side and looked at Zhang Xiangbei's expression. He knew Zhang Xiangbei's original thinking and had definitely not thought about this. Let alone him, when he was doing foreign trade and selling Lin Shuwen's goods, I just ignored the cartons and never regarded packing them as a big deal. It was too late to focus on cutting, too late to find a parking space, and too late to find a way out. I didn't expect that the final step was packing, and I almost missed the important event and delayed the shipping date. Zhang Chen said, Wei Wenfang and Wu Ziyai are right. There are many things that you really don't know before you encounter them, and it is impossible to think about them so thoughtfully in advance. Brother Lu, do you still remember Chu Shuwen? During the first batch of goods, the clothes were finally finished and packaged, and finally it was stuck on the packing. Even you guys came to help that day. Yes, I remember this. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, said. Also, thank you to Lao Wan for bringing someone here, otherwise it would be too late that day. As Zhang Chen spoke, he explained the events of that day in detail. The main purpose was to tell Zhang Xiangbei to remind him that many seemingly inconspicuous things, when they are accumulated in large numbers, become even smaller. Things can also become big things, and things that can get stuck in your neck are often things that you ignore and never pay attention to. Bai Bei, let's go to your place now to take a look, Lu Ligan said. He seemed to know what Zhang Xiangbei was thinking. He said, Bai Bei, I know you really want to take down the world by yourself. I was like this when I was young, and I endured hardships here. Don't look down on the uncles and aunts here. We were all like you when we were the same age. Those who have started their own business have a lot of experience. Some people want to learn from these experiences, but we are not necessarily willing to teach them. That is to say, you have this opportunity. After we go to see it, it will only be good for you and save you from taking detours. There will be no harm. Even if there are any difficulties, we can also help to find a way to solve them. Our brains are all good. Our ideas, there is only one thing to do, which is to help you do this well. Xiang Nan listened, slapping Zhang Xiangbei's hand beside him, and Zhang Chen said, Bai Bei, thank you uncle and aunt quickly. Zhang Xiangbei stood up, bowed to everyone and said, thank you, uncle and aunt. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, said, okay, let's go and have a look at Bai Bei. Everyone stood up one after another. Thank you Huang Pipi for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you Huang Pipi, Sichuan Forest, Sand and Dust Mood, Broken Dreams in the Void, Watching the Sky at Night, Lao Dibao Ei, Yunlong Frogfish, Road, Take a Leisurely View, Traveler Ye Buzan, White Teeth in the Sky, Changsha Hughes Hung, Zipanjiang 1, Book Friend 201901802522424314, Book Friend, 202106222125000548, Book Friend 201811301053053944, Book Friend 201805121221105118, Book Friend 202101192158162777, Book Friend 2021090122054391 Monthly Pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1955. Everyone took several cars and went to Jibao's logistics base. Lu Ligan got into Zhang Chen's car. Others saw Lu Ligan getting into Zhang Chen's car. Everyone understood this and didn't follow. No, they have a lot to say. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan got on Xiao Wu's car, Lao Tan got on Lu Bang's car, and even Xiao Fang got on Tan Shahen's car. After the car started, Zhang Chen asked Lu Ligan, Are you determined? It's settled, Lu Ligan said. Maybe I will drag you outside the city and throw you away now. Lu Ligan said, get lost. Do you know about Lao Meng? Zhang Chen asked again. Lu Ligan nodded, I've known it for a long time. Lao Chiao told me that time. In a few days, I want to go to Nanjing to visit Lao Meng. Zhang Chen said yes, I will go with you. Who is in Ningyuan? Zhang Chen asked. He knew that if there was no special reason, Lu Ligan would not stay in Ningyuan and remain motionless. He knew him too well. Wenwen and Qian Lu Ligan said. Go, why did I forget them too? I also overestimated you. If I forget you, just run away, so you must go to a woman. I have thought of Huang Meili, but think about it, there is no reason for Huang Meili when I come back, I don't know, I just didn't expect them, Zhang Chen said. Screw you. However, it's useless even if I think about it, and I don't know where they are. I don't even know that they are from Ningyuan, Zhang Chen said. What, you went to destroy other people's families? Ghost, they are all still single, Lu Ligan said. Have you sown? Zhang Chen turned his head to look at Lu Ligan and asked while driving. Lu Ligan shook his head. Who are you lying to? You're not Lu Ziawai, so you can't sit still. Besides, you guys have long since ceased to be a pure friendship. It's not like today to hug each other, Zhang Chen said. Is it okay to sow the seeds or not? What's the situation? You still single? Zhang Chen nodded and understood. It was still the same as before. It seemed that he still wanted to come back. Zhang Chen asked, are you ready to spend time with Tan Shahen? Lu Ligan said, I don't know if she wants me. Are you stupid? She doesn't want you to put up shitty ads. Don't tell me that you didn't see the ads. I know you must have seen them, Zhang Chen said. I saw it, Lu Ligan nodded and admitted. What do you mean if you don't reply after seeing it? Zhang Chen asked. I don't have the nerve to reply, is that okay? Why don't you hang up my phone? We even went to Chenzhou to look for you. We even found the woman who sold you the mobile phone cart, Zhang Chen said. Lu Ligan sighed, Lao Chiao told me that day that Lao Meng was gone. I felt even more embarrassed to come back and wanted to die. Then why didn't you die? Now you want to come back, Zhang Chen asked. Lu Ligan rolled his eyes at Zhang Chen. Bai Bei told me about Xiangnan, and I felt that I would be sorry for the mother and daughter if I didn't come back. That's good. It turns out that it was Lao Gui who made Xiangnan a hurdle that Tan Shahen couldn't overcome. She couldn't tell Xiangnan the true situation. She had promised Lao Gui. In that environment, this is also a helpless move, I have to agree, you have to understand. Otherwise, there is no point in marrying Lao Gui. As long as someone knows that Xiangnan is your daughter, Tan Shahen will be expelled without a second thought, and Xiangnan will be a gangster, Zhang Chen said. I understand, I don't blame her, I don't blame Lao Gui, I just blame the Humming Post and Telecommunications Office. Tan Shahen didn't receive even one of my many letters, Lu Ligan cursed. Yes, Tan Shahen has such a temper and is pregnant with your child. If she knows where we are, she will crawl to Hainan, Zhang Chen said. When we meet again in Hangzhou later, she still can't say, and I don't want to see you father and daughter, like enemies, under the same roof. Now they no longer exist. I only understood it after Lao Gui died. I know. You must frankly confess to Tan Shahen about Wenwen and Qian. She is no longer a little girl and will not be so naughty, but you have to hide it from her. If she finds out in the future, you will not be able to live your life. Do you understand? Lu Ligan nodded and said, I understand. Zhang Chen sighed, you two have been through a lot of humming ups and downs, but fortunately, you already have Xiangnan, and the rest will be complete. It's not been easy for Tan Shahen these years, and you still have to spend so much time humming, they are keeping you a widow, You have to be content and know how to be grateful. She is not unwanted, so treat her well. I haven't seen you in so many years, and you're still the same damn verbose person, Luligan scolded. We haven't seen each other for so many years, and you're still the same humming bastard, otherwise I wouldn't be too lazy to talk, Zhang Chen scolded him back. Luligan laughed. Everyone arrived at the production workshop of Zaixian Delivery. Wu Huan was already waiting for them here. The workshop area reserved for sorting was more than 1,000 square meters. They were referring to the process of Wu Zaiyi and his courier company and planned to divide it into several areas. When the dishes come, they are divided into this area according to the total number of orders, and then the orders are divided. Wei Venfang immediately said, "No, you are different from us. We are assigned to this branch, and the sorting work is completed. All express mails from this branch will be loaded and shipped immediately. If one car cannot be shipped, it will be shipped to 2 cars. Just go to each branch below and do the second sorting. As for you, as I said before, the sorting is not over yet. After you have divided the vegetables, you still need to sort the radishes. After sorting the radishes, you still need to wait for the meat. You need all the vegetables to be ready before they can be loaded into the truck. Are you? Use vest bags to carry vegetables. Does that mean all the vest bags are waiting here? How much space does 100,000 need? Wei Venfang asked. We will use shelves and put every order on the shelf, so there will be more space, Wu Huan said. Before Wei Venfang could say anything, Xiaofang interrupted, "No, let me forget it. If there are 100,000 orders, let alone this place, even if I give you the entire logistic space, it won't be able to accommodate it. It's useless to have a shelf. And don't look at putting it on the shelves or taking it off the shelves. It's such a simple task, it's a scary thing to do it 100,000 times. We must find ways to reduce the links. The less, the better." Zhang Chen recalled the first time he made an order for Lin Shuwen. 100,000 orders. Even if there were only 5 varieties per order on average, that would be 500,000 times. Around 500,000 times. And there were more. The whole Hangzhou was doing it. Should be no less than 500,000 orders per day, that is 2.5 million times. 250 people don't have to do anything, just raise their hands 10,000 times. How long will they have to raise their hands? There is another question, Wu Zaiyi said. In this case, how many cold chain trucks do you need? If 100 trucks are parked outside and waiting, how will they be loaded? Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan looked at each other. This link, which they had never paid much attention to, was told by several people that they felt that this plan was no longer viable. Actually, it can be the other way around, Zhang Chen said. The number of vegetables is limited. Generally, vegetables plus meat and soy products, etc., will not exceed 100 kinds a day. This place can be divided into 20 or 30 areas. Put the vegetables on the shelf, the stocking clerk takes the order and goes to garnish it, and an order can be filled in one trip. Mr. Zhang's method is better and more operable than your original one, Wei Venfang said. The dishes on the shelves are also standardized. All dishes are divided into half a caddy and 1 caddy. Just these 2 types. There should be no such thing as 1 caddy or 4 tails. Lu Ligan has grown and sold vegetables before, so he is not new to this business. He said. In this way, there is no need to remeasure. When the waiter sees that the order says half a caddy, he will take a bundle of half a caddy, a pound of 1 caddy, and if there is 1.5 caddy, he will take a bundle of 1 caddy. Plus a bundle of half a caddy, so you can complete an order in 2 or 3 minutes in just one trip. Yes, I came back with a clever idea. In this way, the efficiency of the side dishes will be much higher, and the food buyers won't care about it. They can just use 2 measurement units, and they will already be measured when they are put on the shelves, Wu Zaiyi said. As long as someone is specifically patrolling to see which dishes are running out on the shelves, they can immediately replace them, Wei Venfang said. Everyone continued to add up. Xiao Fang then told Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei that the loading of trucks was also the same as what Wu Ziyawai said earlier. You can calculate the number of trucks according to the delivery time every day and come in order. Once the parts are ready, go directly to the truck. This car will set off immediately after loading, and the second car will start next. It is estimated that one area can be filled with one car in 20 or 30 minutes. That means if you add up several districts, there will be vehicles leaving every minute, Wu Ziyawai said. In this way, the utilization rate of the cold chain vehicles will be high, and they can start again when they come back, and they will not spend all their time waiting. Everyone talked in a flurry, and the more they talked, the more they came up with more and more ideas. Soon the entire new plan was re-improved and finalized. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei took note of it carefully. When everyone finished talking, they waited. Within 5 or 6 minutes, Wu Huan printed out the new plan. After everyone read it, they felt that there should be no problem if they followed this plan. Wu Huan said, thank you, if you don't come and this plan is not replanned, it will really collapse by then. Zhang Xiangbei was on the side, scratching his head and laughing. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei said that I would send it out in the evening and let Shanghai and Nanjing adjust according to this plan. Zhang Xiangbei agreed. Wu Huan invited everyone to the conference room, showed them all the matters that should be done, and asked them for help and reference, and if there was anything else they hadn't thought of. Everyone read it and mentioned dozens of items, and Wu Huan added them all. After taking a look around, everyone felt that it was already very difficult for Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan to achieve such a level of preparatory work for such a large project. Xiangnan and Zhang Xiangbei had to work overtime while the others were preparing to go back. Wu Ziyawai and Zhang Xiangbei said, when you open, I will have my couriers in 3 places ready. If you need help, let them, they are here to help you. They are quite experienced in the area of distribution and are familiar with the area. Your focus should still be on sorting. Zhang Xiangbei quickly said, thank you Uncle Wu. When everyone walked to the parking lot, Lu Ligan was still preparing to get into Zhang Chen's car. Zhang Chen scolded, why are you getting into my car? Get out of Tan Shahen's way. Everyone laughed. Xiao Fang came over and got into Zhang Chen's car. Tan Shahen blushed. Fortunately, it was night and no one else could see her. She got into the cab without saying a word. Lu Ligan walked to the passenger seat, opened the door and got in. Where are you going? Tan Shahen asked. Lu Ligan smiled. When Tan Shahen started the car, she was surprised to find that the others had already left and escaped so quickly. She knew that they all did it on purpose. Tan Shahen pursed her lips and smiled. Thank you for your monthly votes on the road, Tian Tian, Feng Zhiyong Spinach, Tianying 1978, UN 11, Adam 326, Lao Shenzasang, Lao Chen Tang, Robin Granite, and Bailiang. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1956. Along the way, neither Tan Shahen nor Lu Ligan spoke. Tan Shahen was concentrating on driving, and Lu Ligan was concentrating on looking out of the car. However, both of them were actually paying attention to each other's actions. When one suddenly changed his posture, the other a person will be startled and trembled involuntarily, and this is because he pays too much attention to the other person. When the bus arrived at the old bus station at the junction of Xintang Road and Gentian Road, the continuous overpass was deserted, with no one around. In the past, this overpass was filled with many suspicious girls who had negotiated a price. Just go to the Huachan Hotel or the dotted small hotels nearby. There are also fortune tellers, women holding accommodation signs, and passengers carrying large and small bags who have just got off the long-distance bus. Their eyes are still wandering and confused. When waiting for a red light, there are always beggars knocking on your car window on the roadside. Lu Ligan used to pass by this place every time he came to Zhang Chen's factory in Xiaosha, and he would roll down the car window every time to give him or 2 coins for her. There was an old man who knew Lu Ligan. Sometimes during the day, when Lu Ligan passed by, the old man would sit on the roadside and touch his belly. He was sleepy. Lu Ligan would take out 2 coins and shake them. After getting out of the car window, coins clicked twice on the car door. The old man raised his head and saw him, and immediately ran over, took the 2 coins and turned back. There was no verbal or eye contact between the two people. It seemed that one should give and the other should receive. Lu Ligan thought in his heart, if you say thank you at any time, I will give you 100, but until Lu Ligan, even though he was missing, he didn't give away the 100. The coin box on Lu Ligan's car is full of coins, all to send away the beggars who knock on the car window or the old women selling white orchids. Now, all these people are gone. Lu Ligan was speechless and said, the East Station has been moved away, and the place has become so deserted. Tan Shahan said The two people fell silent again. The car drove past Banmuishan building, past the center of Hangzhou, and then turned left. They remained silent. It wasn't that they had nothing to say, but that they had too much to say. They didn't know what to say, and the words were too much. It has become dense and blocked, and words can no longer find their way out. Moreover, when going back to the Meisi River, Tan Shahan drove the wrong way. She should have turned left after passing Zhenkai Overpass, or simply turned left from Xintang Road or Zhenkai Overpass, but she did not and did not know whether she was. If you want to walk around in front of Hangzhou city center, you should go somewhere else. Lu Ligan didn't ask either. After so many years, the two were strangers to each other, and even their smells were familiar. Although the smell on Tan Shahan's body was still the same, and the faint smell of perfume in the car was still the same, but Lulitzi rods, they need to be salvaged from memory bit by bit. In comparison, Lu Ligan could imagine Tan Shahan's life, and he also knew something about it from Zhang Xiangbei's narration. When he saw Tan Shahan again, his imagination and the person overlapped, and Lu Ligan felt that the whole world, everything became quiet. For Tan Shahan, Lu Ligan's years were completely blank, he didn't know and couldn't imagine. Not only her, but also Zhang Chen. They only know that Lu Ligan has been in a place called Ningyuan for so many years. Who knows where this Ningyuan is? Tan Shahan, the boss of the real estate company, often faces the wall. For someone with the huge map of China, Ningyuan has never entered her field of vision. I only know from Zhang Xiangbei's description that it seems to be at the junction of Hunan, Guangdong, and Guangxi. The junction of 3 provinces, the junction of 3 cities, the junction of 3 counties, the junction of 3 towns, and even the junction of 3 villages. All these junctions give people aren't all the feelings of confusion and ambiguity. When people are immersed in such an ambiguous place, how can they not become blurred and try to see him clearly but cannot see clearly? The car turned to the Meisi River, and Lu Ligan was still speechless and said, it's still the same here. Tan Shahan said again. This had a complicated meaning. It meant that she was still the same, the company was still the same, and Meisi was still the same and was still in the hands of their company. At the same time, this was aggrieved. Lu Ligan fled in a hurry in the storm, leaving behind a mess. Tan Shahan spent so much energy and spent so many sleepless nights to clean up the mess and stabilize it. Night, all this is hard to describe in words. Tan Shahan parked the car in the parking lot, and the two of them got out of the car and walked toward the exit. As usual, Lu Ligan reached over and took the bag from Tan Shahan's hand. Tan Shahan said thank you. The two people kept a distance of about 1 meter from each other and walked forward in silence. The sound of Tan Shahan's high heels made the underground parking garage seem very empty. The two people seemed to be counting their footsteps as they walked to the elevator. When Tan Shahen wanted to press the elevator button, Lu Ligan pressed it first. Tan Shahen's hand retracted. The elevator happened to stop on this floor, and there was no time to wait. No, the elevator door opened quietly, startling them. Two people walked into the elevator, one person occupying one side. The light in the elevator was too bright. They were facing each other in the bright light. Neither of them had gotten used to it yet, and they were not mentally prepared for it. They turned their heads to the side in unison, pretending to be looking at the advertisement on the wall of the carriage, but from the reflection of the billboard, their eyes intertwined and immediately looked away. After walking out of the elevator room on the first floor, there was a garden outside. The light was dim. Only the garden lights illuminated the winding stone path and illuminated the way home. There were small flying insects flying around the garden lights. Two people, they all breathed a sigh of relief. The noise from the Meeshi River not far away could be heard faintly. On summer nights, the Meeshi River was always lively, and people would not fall asleep very late. Sometimes late at night, everyone thought the Meeshi River had sunk. While dreaming, someone would suddenly let out a scream, followed by 3 or 4 people laughing, quickly overturning the silence. Or someone will suddenly sing a song, with no reason or destination, and then from somewhere in the darkness, a sentence of idiot or psycho will pop up. Those who were called idiots and psychos will also disappear into the darkness, never to be seen again. Movement. The two of them walked to the door of Tan Shahen's house. Tan Shahen casually pointed to the row house next to her and said, "This house now belongs to Xiao Fang." She wanted to give it to Bai Bei and Nanan, but they didn't want it. When Tan Shahen said this, she seemed not to be talking to Lu Ligan, but to herself. Lu Ligan said oh, and the two of them were silent again. The house was dark. Lu Ligan knew that Lao Tan and Mrs. Tan were going to Yongcheng. Lu Ligan was relieved again. If Lao Tan was still here, Lu Ligan felt that Tan Shahen probably wouldn't directly take him home. Lu Ligan himself didn't know what would happen to him if he faced Lao Tan again, but he was still unavoidable at being at a loss at the beginning. Lu Ligan could face everyone calmly, even when facing Lao Tan. He would still feel frightened. The porch light came on as they approached the door. Tan Shahen stretched out her hand towards Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan was stunned for a moment before he realized that she was asking for the key to his bag. Lu Ligan hurriedly left. "Go forward and hand the bag to Tan Shahen." Tan Shahen found the key from her bag, opened the door, said "Come in," and walked in. Lu Ligan quickly followed in. The room was dark. When Tan Shahen turned around to turn on the switch next to the door, unexpectedly, Lu Ligan followed too closely, and the two of them bumped into each other. This was their first physical contact today. When they were eating earlier, Lu Ligan also sat between Zhang Chen and Lao Tan, but was too embarrassed to sit directly next to Tan Shahen. At this moment, the two people's hearts skipped a beat. The lights had not been turned on yet, and half of their figures were exposed in the porch light that poured in from outside the door. The two people hugged each other involuntarily, and the bag in Tan Shahen's hand fell on the ground. The door automatically closed behind Lu Ligan. The room became darker. The two hugged and kissed. Needless to say, both of them knew what would happen next. Tan Shahen held Lu Ligan and moved in the dark, and Lu Ligan allowed her to lead him away. His eyes slowly adjusted to the darkness in the room, and he saw that they had reached the sofa in the living room, and the two of them fell down. Lu Ligan was anxious and furious. Tan Shahen gasped and whispered to Lu Ligan, "Slow down. It's been a long time. I'm not very used to it yet." Lu Ligan thought of Zhang Chen's words earlier, "Tan Shahen has been a widow for you for more than 10 years. Lu Ligan's heart trembled, he felt distressed, and couldn't help but burst into tears. Tan Shahen held his head and ran her hands through his hair. Tan Shahen asked quietly, "What's wrong with you?" "Nothing, Lu Ligan kept shaking his head and said, his hands still roaming at night. Tan Shahen let out a long sigh, and she also started crying. The two kept crying and kissing, and Lu Ligan began to become very gentle. Tan Shahen kept stroking Lu Ligan while crying. The dormitory of Jo Hangshangguya troop appeared in her eyes. They were like this every night. She remembered that when they went on tour, they had no place to go, so they could only stay in the dormitory. At the end of the performance, the two people ran to the straw pile in the wild. She remembered their first time, that moonlit night, when they were on the branch of the river in Jingxiang, Kangnan, Wenzhou. On that small boat, the moonlight shone on them and on the river around the boat. The night wind blew slowly, chilling their skin and blowing the weeds on both sides of the bank in disorientation. The boat rocked, and rocked until now. This man. Tan Shahen sighed deeply in her heart. She liked it. She felt that she could finally reach the shore. Thank you to Uncle Wang Pacino, who is only 48 years old and has 2 fishes for the reward. Thank you, Uncle Wang Pacino, Xiaosheng year 48, Dragon in the Sky, Heart Dances, Yunlong Frogfish, Tianying 1978, Tamagotchi, Lao Chen Tang, On the Road to a Nation, White Teeth in the Sky, Book Friends 110115233351898, Book Friend 140619134947885's monthly ticket. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 1957. The two of them were lying on the bed, with Tan Shahen nestled in Lu Ligan's arms. Lu Ligan and Tan Shahen talked about their own affairs in the past few years, filling the gap in Tan Shahen's heart. Lu Ligan honestly told Tan Shahen about Wen Wen and Qian, and about Lu Wenqian. Tan Shahen listened and felt that she should be angry, but she didn't know why and couldn't get angry. It seemed like what Lu Ligan said, these things did not surprise her at all. These were things Lu Ligan would do. If Lu Ligan didn't do this, she would be surprised. Lu Ligan could tell her everything so calmly. Tan Shahen felt that if she was angry because of this, she would look stingy, but of course she would not be happy about it. After Lu Ligan finished speaking, Tan Shahen was silent. Lu Ligan asked, "What are you thinking about?" Tan Shahen sighed and asked, "Do you know? How could you be like this?" "I know, I gave up," Lu Ligan said. "What do you mean?" Tan Shahen asked. Lu Ligan was silent, thinking about what he should say to Tan Shahen. Tan Shahen seemed to hear his thoughts and said to him, "It doesn't matter. Just say whatever comes to your mind. It's all in the past anyway and I won't care. I gave myself away." Lu Ligan thought as he spoke, carefully choosing his words. "I used to work very hard to like someone, thinking about waiting for someone. Although this person never came, I always believed that she would definitely come. However, when Xiao Wu arrived in Haikan, tell me you when the news came about my marriage to Lao Gui, I felt like the sky was falling and everything in front of me collapsed. I felt like I was a fool, a big fool. From that moment on, I gave up on myself and felt that everything was not worth it." When Lu Ligan said this, Tan Shahen started crying again. Tan Shahen said, "But I really don't know where you are. At that time, I was alone. Do you know how desperate I was? I felt that I was completely abandoned by you. I was alone and helpless. I was at my wit's end." Lu Lizan hugged Tan Shahen and kissed her. Lu Lizan said to her, I know, I don't mean to blame you at all when I say this. Zhang Chen told me everything. He is right. If you knew where we were and our whereabouts at that time, you could crawl. They will all crawl to Hainan, I believe you will." Tan Shahen nodded and she felt that she would definitely do it. Lu Ligan said, but every time I called you, your mother scolded you back. Jin Lily also called you and was scolded. I wrote you so many letters. I always thought you were sure they know where we are, it's just that your parents are blocking you and not letting you come out. If you have the chance, you will definitely come out. Alas, it's a combination of circumstances and that's it. Maybe this is our fate. Tan Shahen really wanted to tell Lu Ligan that it was not fate, nor was it a mistake, but someone was causing trouble. All the letters you wrote to me were intercepted by Lao Gui. I wanted to write to you, but I didn't know where to send it. Where to go? I haven't received your letter for such a long time, so I thought you had changed your mind. The outside world is so wonderful. At that time, Hainan was so miraculous in society that even CCTV's Focus interview program reported on it. You are here. In a world like that, who knows what would happen to you? Tan Shahen resisted and did not tell Lu Ligan these words. When Feng Logui was here, only 2 people in the world knew about Feng Logui's interception of the letter. After Feng Logui was gone, she was the only one who knew about it. Well, she has not told anyone, nor does she plan to tell anyone. She should leave some dignity to Lao Gui. Things have passed, so what if other people know about it? Can everything happen again? If everything could happen again, Tan Shahen felt that the night before Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan went to Hainan, her mother asked when people came to the group and asked her to go back, she should have known that if she went back on her own, she would not be able to get out. If she could do it all over again, not only should she not go back that night, but she should not even stay in the troop. She should hide outside. No, she might as well go to the national highway, stop a passing car, and run to Hangzhou first. Wait for them in Hangzhou, so that they can go to Hainan together. Later, in Ningyuan, after I saw your advertisement, to be honest, I was very conflicted. I wanted to come back but was afraid to come back. First, I felt that I had caused such a big trouble and I had no shame to see you when I came back. Second, I felt that I am already a rotten person, why would I come back? I am always wavering between returning and not returning. Until one day, I couldn't bear it anymore and called Lao Chiao, trying to find out more about you from his side. As a result, Lao Chiao told me about Lao Meng. He told me that Meng Ping was dead. At that time, I was desperate and gave up on myself again. I felt that I was the cause of Lao Meng's death. It was me who introduced Lao Meng to Lao Ni, and it was I who led Lao Meng to do futures with Lao Ni. In the end, we fell into the futures business. Lao Meng no longer even engaged in real estate, and he was ready to idle around in Nanjing. His charterer lost his job, and it was me who brought him into the trap again, including in Hainan. In fact, it was me who brought him into the trap, although Lao Meng never complained about me. Lao Meng is dead. I feel like a rotten person like me is in the quagmire. There is no way to extricate myself. I am hopeless. That night, Zhang Chen called me. I was on the boat. I didn't even answer the phone. Throwing the phone into the reservoir, I completely gave up on myself and decided that if I couldn't die, I would rot there. It wasn't until Bai Bei came and he told me about Nanan and told me many things that I decided that no matter what happens after I come back, I must come back. Nanan is my daughter, even if she hates me as a father, and I want to come back and stand in front of her like a father. What do you think will happen when you come back? Tan Shahen asked, will we all disown you? Nanan has already recognized her grandpa and grandma, so she will disown you. Let me tell you, Nanan is more sensible than we thought. Many. Yes, Lu Ligan chuckled, the main reason is that you are well educated. Stop flattering. Yeah, if you don't want the horse, I want the one behind. Lu Ligan smiled playfully and started to move again, and Tan Shahen catered to him. Tan Shahen got up, made breakfast, then went back to the room, woke Lu Ligan up and asked him to get up and have breakfast. While the two were sitting there having breakfast, Tan Shahen asked Lu Ligan, "Will you go to the company with me later?" Lu Ligan shook his head and said nothing. Tan Shahen knew that Lu Ligan was embarrassed. He suddenly left everyone and left without caring about the life and death of so many people. Now he suddenly came back. After all, she felt ashamed, so she had better give him time to let him know. Let him adapt slowly. Wait until he adapts and feels that he has the courage to go to the company. If the company didn't go, then Tan Shahen told Lu Ligan about the company's current situation, especially their strategic adjustments in the past 2 years. Lu Ligan said, "Your judgment is correct. The first is to draw the front line to the first-tier cities, and the second is to reduce the asset-liability ratio. Both of these are important, and it is very likely that it will save splendid China again in the end." Once again, that is to say, Tan Shahen has already saved her once, and she has indeed saved her. Although Lu Ligan has been hiding in Hongling Reservoir these years, his attention to the outside world and real estate has not diminished. Even remote counties like Ningyuan have felt it, let alone coastal areas. He feels that the entire real estate industry now is not crazy, but crazy. I'm thinking that the home purchase policy is tightening step by step. The more it is tightened, the weaker the liquidity of assets will be, and the greater the risk will be for us. I'm thinking whether we need to make further adjustments. It is necessary not only to reduce the asset-liability ratio, but also to increase cash reserves. Mr. Han said something that impressed me deeply, said Tan Shahen. What words? Lu Ligan asked. Mr. Han said that the real estate industry is different from other industries. It is an industry that thrives and collapses. No one should want to be alone. When those inferior real estate companies fail, their effects will be quickly transmitted to the entire industry. It will cause the overall housing prices to fall, and at that time, good real estate companies will also be unlucky. My understanding of this is that when we focus on the company's own risks, we must pay more attention to industry risks. Now the entire real estate industry seems to be very hot, but I think it is on the cusp of the storm. Look at the increasing control measures. The more stringent it is, but the housing prices are rising more and more fiercely. What does it mean? It means that the situation of game between the two parties has emerged. Lu Ligan nodded and said, "This will only force more stringent policies, and it is likely not to be targeted at houses, but policies directed at the real estate companies themselves." Yes, at this time, I have thought about it. Our only way is to reserve cash. At the same time, we need to further shrink the front line. Even in first-tier cities, we have to shrink to the city center. Next, we will only take advantage of the core of the city. We will not take land plots in regional areas or outlying suburbs. When the storm comes, the first projects that will be cut in price and difficult to sell will definitely be projects on these plots. Tan Shahen said. Lu Ligan nodded and said, "I support your idea. By the way, if you are at home, I will send you some company information when I get to the company. You can take a good look at it at home," Tan Shahen said. No need to send it to me," Lu Ligan said. "Why?" Tan Shahen asked curiously. "I will not return to the company. You have done a good job. There is no room for me in the company. Don't be influenced by me. I am not coming back to return to the company," Lu Ligan said. Tan Shahen didn't understand what Lu Ligan was talking about. She didn't know whether he was avoiding or out of anger. Well, give him some more time to adjust. Thank you Lao Chantang for the tip. Thank you to Lao Chantang, Buddha, Hu, Jungle Spinach of the Wind, Yuzazialiu, Chien Dad, Little Janitor, and Book Friends 1611222135017999 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 1958. Zhang Chen saw Lu Ligan walking in and asked strangely, "Why are you here instead of going to the company?" "No, why should I go to the company?" Lu Ligan said. "You humming think I'm the Count of Monte Cristo and I'm coming back to take back my position as chairman." Zhang Chen laughed and cursed, "Is there such a shameless Count of Monte Cristo? You don't have the shame to go to the company." "Have you ever slapped someone in the face like this?" Lu Ligan said, sitting down on the sofa and tapping his knuckles on the glass coffee table. "Hey, I don't see any guests coming. Why don't you order tea quickly?" Zhang Chen picked up his teacup from the desk. He came over with the teacup, sat down on the sofa on the other side, and said, "The guest has no hands. Can't he pour the tea himself?" Lu Ligan glared at him, helpless, stood up and went to the water dispenser to pour himself a glass of water, and came back and said, "I've never seen such a stingy boss like you. The company is so big, and there's not even anyone in the office to bring water and tea." Zhang Chen smiled and teased, "I should recruit 4 people who graduated from Peking University. One will pour you tea, one will rub your shoulders, one will press your legs, and one will kneel next to you with an ashtray, okay? By the way, after hiding in that ravine for so many years, have you finished writing your autobiography?" Lu Li snorted, "It's not just Wen Wen and Qian Qian, there are not 4 beauties who graduated from Peking University. There are no beauties, and they write autobiographies about shit. Autobiographies are all obscene stuff. They don't do it when they are old, and they live with beauties, it's just for fun." "Did Tan Shahen let you go?" Zhang Chen asked. "Let it go." Zhang Chen nodded, "That's good." The jokes were over, the talk was over, and then the serious talk began. Zhang Chen asked Lu Ligan, what are his plans next? Lu Ligan said, "I will definitely not go back to Jingxiu. Tan Shahen and the others are doing a good job now. One person without me is a big deal, and one with me is still a hindrance. I will not disturb them. Xiao Fang will not live or die come to your company. Smart people will do this. When 2 people are together at home and together at work, it is easy to lose track of where is home and where is company. Come on, it's not like you haven't been together before," Zhang Chen said. "It was different back then. I was me and she was her. Then the relationship between the 2 of us in private was different, and we would be separated at work. It's not as scary as you said," Zhang Chen said. "Xiao Zhao and I were not always fine together before. That's what Xiao Zhao asked you to do. Is there any decision made by Xiao Zhao in your company? Xiao Zhao is on the side and just looks up to you. Can you, Tan Shahen, do it? The 2 of us are together. If there is any problem at work, when there is a conflict, wouldn't it be a comet hitting the earth? Xiao Fang is smart and deliberately avoids this possibility," Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen nodded and said, "Okay, what you said makes sense. It's not reasonable, it's simply the truth. Tan Shahen also asked me to go to the company this morning. I told her that I came back this time not to go back to the company. I also talked with Tan Shahen. She was on the right track and was always cautious. Now in real estate, whoever is arrogant will definitely be unlucky in the end," Lu Ligan said. "In the future, I will at most be on the sidelines to remind her." Zhang Chen looked at Lu Ligan and laughed. "Who reminded whom? Is this what you, Lu Ligan, said?" "I am not kidding." Lu Ligan stretched out his hand and hooked his fingers. Zhang Chen slid the cigarette and lighter in front of him from the coffee table. Lu Ligan took out a cigarette, lit it for himself, and then slid the cigarette and lighter. When he came back, Zhang Chen also took out a cigarette and lit it. Lu Ligan puffed out smoke and said to Zhang Chen, "Being in that ravine for so many years, there is nothing but one benefit, that is, people think more openly, become more level-headed, and no longer compete with the world. You are right to say that it has worn away your will. It depends on how you say it. If you had been back then crazy. I am not crazier than anyone else. What about Su Jian and Sun Hongbin? I will take them seriously. Just do it. But now, I don't think so anymore. Madness has to pay a price. If you don't pay today, you will pay tomorrow. Sooner or later, I will pay. I think these two idiots have never suffered from the real estate collapse and have not been scared. But in the end, the market will teach them how to behave. Even if you set up a humming wonton stall, you can't run naked all the time. In the real estate industry, in a few years, I guess something big will happen. It's only right to be careful, like Tan Shahen. What will happen? Zhang Chen asked. It's fundamentally wrong. The medicine is wrong and the right treatment is not available. In the end, the only option is surgery. Look at what they have been doing all these years. They talk about destocking every day, but have they raised prices to destock? This will only have one result, that is, the old inventory will be gone, and new inventory will come soon, and it will be even bigger. In the end, it will be forced to kill people, and the entire industry will collapse. What to do when it collapses? That will cause the entire financial system to collapse. Moreover, those who formulate and implement policies own more than one house and are still paying off mortgages. Will they watch housing prices collapse? Why the property tax has not been paid out for a long time? This is also the case. These people are playing the game themselves. They think of themselves first in everything, so there will be no enthusiasm. When housing prices are really going to collapse, what will they do? There's nothing they won't do. I guess there will be a price limit order. If the house is to be destroyed, it cannot be in the hands of the bank or themselves. If you want to smash it, it will all fall into the hands of your developers. Tan Shahen told me that we must have cash reserves, which is correct. She can do this, but I can't. How you think about it is one thing, and how you do it is another matter. When I saw so much cash in the account, as soon as I entered the auction, my head got hot. What the hell? If he takes action again, I really won't be able to control it, so it's right for me not to return to the company at all. Zhang Chen nodded and felt that Lu Ligan was right to consider this. Zhang Chen asked. Then what are you going to do next? Do you want me to talk to Hagen and you come under me as a security guard? Lu Ligan cursed. I've thought about this too. I think if I want to quit, I'll quit completely. I'll sell out all my shares in Splendid China and I'll start AB/U0026B. Business hotel? Zhang Chen asked. Yes, Lu Ligan said. The investment in building AB/U0026B is very small, but it can be very large. I want to build a chain of B/U0026Bs. Instead of renting a house, I will buy land in various places and build it myself, just like your logistics, the bases are the same. You can build as many as you have. If you run out of money, you can wait until you have saved enough before building. B/U0026Bs are different from hotels. They don't need so many staff and there is no daily pressure. The places where B/U0026Bs are built are all scraps of land, which cannot be developed even if they want to develop real estate. But it is enough to build B/U0026Bs. Such land is not expensive. The main cost is construction and installation costs. By the way, you can help. I want to build a chain of B/U0026Bs in each place with a different style. After a few years of doing this, I can accumulate a large customer base of my own. In Zhejiang alone, you can build a large chain of Qiandao Lake, Qingshan Lake, Taihu Lake, Mogan Mountain, Tianmu Mountain, Zhonglang Mountain, Nangzi River, Nanji Island, etc., and then expand it to the whole country. It's a big project if you do it one after another. Zhang Chen looked at Lu Ligan and felt that this guy had really changed a lot. As he said, he had become more mediocre, but his courage was still there. In the past, whatever this guy did, he always wanted to be big. To build the tallest building, build the largest project, and sell the most expensive house. Now we know how to think from a small perspective. If you know how to connect small and even inconspicuous B/U0026BS into a big industry, it is true that in such a large country, there is no small business. Even if you make all the sewing needles in the country, then it is also a very big project. At this point, Zhang Chen felt that his and Zhang Xiangbei's ideas were very similar. For something as small as selling vegetables, if the right methods and ideas were found and implemented, it would be a project that could scare people to death. Who said that AB/U0026B wouldn't be a scary project? If you are in this industry and build a reputation and brand, as Lu Ligan himself said, you can accumulate a large number of regular customers. The most uneasy thing about staying in AB/U0026B is not just worrying about your sanitary conditions, whether you will be ripped off, whether your safety is guaranteed, etc. If there is a branded B/U0026B, who would not choose it like a 5-star hotel? Are you going to choose this B/U0026B? Zhang Chen said, yes, I support your idea. I am also making cash reserves, Lu Ligan said with a smile. Money will become less and less valuable if it is left there. I bought land and built a house, which can maintain its value. If it can also become a brand, if anything happens, it will be easy for me to mortgage a sum of funds. Zhang Chen understood that Lu Ligan had another thought in doing this. He was leaving a way out for Tan Shahen. In the real estate industry, when the storm really comes, no one can resist it. Zhang Chen patted the coffee table in front of him and said, okay, when are you going to start? Do 2 things first. I took a look and found that I have saved more than 400 million in cash in my account over the years. It's not enough. I want to cash out my splendid China shares, Lu Ligan explained. I have the money here, Zhang Chen said. I don't want your money, or anyone else's money. I told you, this time I will do as much as I can, and do it slowly and not in a hurry, Lu Ligan said. The most important thing is the purpose is to completely remove ourselves from splendid China. Zhang Chen nodded and asked, what's one more thing? Go see Lao Mang, Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen said, yes, let's go the day after tomorrow. I'll call Li Yang now. You don't have Li Yang and Qian Fang's phone numbers anymore, right? No more. Apart from the phone numbers I can still remember in my mind, many people's numbers are gone, Lu Ligan said. By the way, give me a copy of your address book. Zhang Chen gave his mobile phone to Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan opened Zhang Chen's phone book, found the numbers he needed, and entered them into his mobile phone. He saw a name and asked, Chen Yakan, are you still in contact? Didn't you go out together? Don't you know? Zhang Chen asked. What do you know? Lu Ligan said, I know she was with Lao Meng at that time, but we probably got separated in Jinhua. No, they have been together since then and have a daughter, Zhang Chen said. Really? That's great, Lu Lepol clapped his hands. This is Lao Meng's only thing that makes people happy. Thank you, Tin Soldier, for the reward, for reading the book every day, 2 fishes for 1 fish, 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, and ranking 3rd from top to bottom. Thank you on the road, Tian Tian, Dragon King 123,777, Nankiman 79, Book Friends 201712281556429119, Very Attentive 333, Xiaoyang 2005, Shadust Mood, Book Friends 1206221010091159, Book Friends 202106222125000548, Wind and Wing, Yunlong Frogfish, Tamagotchi, White Teeth of the Sky, Lao Chen Soup, Silent Hustle, Changle in Pingle Village, Romantic Cherry Blossoms, Qian Qian Dad, Monthly pass for book friends 20181130105305305944. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 1959. After several additional issuances and share expansions, Lu Ligan's equity in Splendid China still remains at 16.32%, and he is still the largest shareholder of Splendid China with a stock market value of more than 17 billion Hong Kong dollars. Lu Ligan transferred 10% of it to Tan Shahan free of charge, so that Tan Shahan became the single major shareholder of Splendid China. At 6:32, Lu Ligan was ready to cash out all his money and leave Splendid China completely. Lao Jiao and Lu Ligan said that you'd better keep 1% and keep your status as a shareholder so that it will be convenient in the future. Lu Ligan said no, if you want to leave, leave thoroughly and don't take away a single cloud. I don't know if it's Yunke or not. It's just that if you retain the identity of a shareholder, it will be easier for funds to come in and out in the future. It is normal for shareholders to borrow money from the company. If you don't even have the identity of a shareholder, there will be no way for large amounts of money to come in and out except for entrusted loans. Lao Jiao heard Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan talk about Lu Ligan's future plans, and also knew that Lu Ligan wanted to leave a way out for Splendid China, so he told Lu Ligan, and Lu Ligan felt that after hearing this, what Lao Jiao said made sense, so he retained 0.32% of the shares and retained the position of a small shareholder. Lao Jiao helped handle other matters. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan drove to Nanjing. Qian Fang and his real estate company have now moved to the office where Meng Pingyuan came to work. The two walked in. They hadn't been here for several months. The newly recruited front desk lady didn't recognize them. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan didn't even know each other. When asked who they were looking for, before Zhang Chen could say anything, Li Yang walked out and shouted, "We're here." Immediately afterwards, Qian Fang, Su Jiaking, Ye Yulan, Cao Ziahe and others heard the sound and came out. Qian Fang came over and hit Lu Ligan on the shoulder, cursing constantly. "You bastard, you finally showed up." Lu Ligan laughed. Qian Fang hugged Lu Ligan and started to cry. Su Jiaking, Ye Yulan, and Cao Ziahe also had red eyes. Li Yang quickly said, "Let's go to the office." Everyone entered Qian Fang's office. Zhang Chen looked around and didn't see Chen Yakin. Zhang Chen asked, "Where's Chen Yakin?" "I took Xiaodiao to learn the piano." "I'll be here soon," Su Jiaking said. "Chen Yakin doesn't work here," Lu Ligan asked. "She doesn't go to work and takes care of her children full-time," Su Jiaking said with a smile. "She just stays at home and is now a rich woman. She doesn't need to go to work." Zhang Chen asked curiously, "What's wrong? Didn't Chen Yakin divide the money left by Lao Meng into 3 parts? One share was given to Lao Meng's parents, one share was given to his sister, and she kept one share for herself. Plus the annual rent on the podium below the building. Chen Yakin felt that the money there was no use in leaving it alone, so I bought Mutai stock. Unexpectedly, the stock kept rising." Su Jiaking said that Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan understood and smiled. "That's really good." "Yeah, the house price can't even keep up with her stock," Ye Yulan said. Zhang Chen asked Qian Fang how she was doing now. Qian Fang waved her hand and said, "We'll talk about this later. Pol, first tell us where you have been all these years." Lu Ligan told them where he had been in the past few years. After speaking, he smiled and said, "Did I tell you that you don't know? No one here really knew where Ningyuan was." Su Jiaking found a map and Lu Ligan pointed out Ningyuan to them. While they were talking, Chen Yakin came with a small nail. The small nail had grown a lot taller. When she saw Zhang Chen, she bowed to Zhang Chen and said, "Hello, Uncle Zhang." Then she immediately hid behind Chen Yakin, holding Chen Yakin's hand, staring at Lu Ligan with her eyes. Chen Yakin asked her to call her uncle Lu Ligan, and Xiao Nali timidly called out. When Chen Yakin saw Lu Ligan, she remembered the scene when they broke up at Jinhua railway station that day. She thought of Lao Meng, and her eyes began to turn red. Qian Fang looked at everyone and said to Zhang Chen, "Shall we go there now?" Zhang Chen said yes. It was already past 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and Lu Ligan asked, "Is it still too late today?" Zhang Chen told him, "It's just a little bit of road, drive all the way from Zhongshan South Road down below, cross the Qinhua River, and then drive to Yaweitai, you'll be there in 20 minutes. When Zhang Chen was talking, Li Yang and the others laughed. They were laughing at how he was so familiar with Nanjing. How could he not be familiar with it? Zhang Chen had walked this road many times. Every year during the Qingming festival, he would go with him. Xiao Fang went to Nanjing and went to Gongd Garden in Yaweitai with Jian Fang and others to see Meng Ping. Everyone went downstairs, and no one was driving. Jian Fang asked the driver of his company to drive a minibus to send them there. In the car, Lu Ligan asked Xiao Dingding to sit on his lap. Still too timid to go there. Chen Yakin pushed the little nail and told her that Uncle Lu is your father's good friend. The little nail then passed by. Lu Ligan held her on his lap and kept talking to her. His courage gradually grew, and he asked Lu Ligan, "Uncle, do you really know my dad?" Lu Ligan said, "Of course, your father and I used to be together often." "Then why have I never seen you?" Xiao Dingzi asked. Lu Ligan was stunned, and everyone else in the car laughed. Chen Yakin quickly said, "Uncle Lu went on a business trip and just came back now, so he came to see your father." Little Nail nodded and said to Lu Ligan, "Then you must have gone to a place very, very far away." Lu Ligan nodded repeatedly. The minibus passes through Changqianmen and leads to the Qinhua River. It goes straight across the Yinma Bridge and enters Yanghua West Road. It drives for more than a kilometer. Then it turns left into Yanghua South Road. Go forward 1 kilometer and turn right. After driving on Flower God Avenue for another 700 to 800 meters, you will arrive at Nanjing Yaweitai Gongd Garden. This is one of the earliest cemeteries established in Nanjing. Martyrs such as Xiang Ying who died in the southern Anhui incident are buried here, as well as General Nai Fengzi and the famous Li Yunlong in Bright Sword. Every time Zhang Chen comes here, in addition to seeing Meng Ping, he must also visit the famous painter Fu Beishi. Most of the tombs in the Gongd Garden are ecological burials, including garden burials and wall burials, which are vertical marble walls divided into horizontal and vertical grids, and each grid is an acupuncture point. Meng Ping's tomb is an independent ground tomb in the ecological burial area. When they walked to Meng Ping's tomb, Lu Ligan saw that it was a double tomb. The tombstone was erected in the name of a small nail, and one side was erected in the name of a small nail. Father Meng Ping, and Mother Chen Yakin on the other side. It seems that Chen Yakin has made up her mind to stay with Lao Meng here in the future. Lu Ligan stood blankly in front of Meng Ping's tomb. Looking at Meng Ping's photo on the tombstone, he was in a trance. For a moment, he still couldn't believe that Lao Meng, actually slept here so peacefully. Zhang Chen placed the flowers in his hand in front of Meng Ping's tombstone. He called from the side, "Meng Ping, the Pole is here to see you." Lu Ligan knelt down, pressed his head against Meng Ping's tombstone, and cried loudly. Chen Yakin, Jian Fang, and Su Jiaking, who were standing beside them, also began to sob softly. Li Yang wanted to pull Lu Pole, but Zhang Chen sighed and said to Li Yang, let him cry well. It was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sunlight in the cemetery was still very strong. Zhang Chen and Li Yang held an umbrella with one hand to protect them from the sun. Lao Meng, I'm late," Lu Ligan shouted towards Meng Ping's tombstone. "Lao Meng, did you hear that?" Xiao Diao patted Lu Ligan's shoulder with his hand and said to him, "Uncle, Dad can't hear you anymore." Lu Ligan sobbed, "I can hear it, Your father can hear me coming. Lu Ligan turned around and shouted to Meng Ping, Old man, are you right? You can hear my voice. Lu Ligan took out a cigarette from his pocket, lit it, and placed it in front of Meng Ping's tombstone. Then he also took out a cigarette and lit it. The ground was hot, so he sat down on the ground and said to Meng Ping, Lao Meng, come here, let me smoke a cigarette with you. Qian Fang knew that Lu Ligan must have a lot to say to Meng Ping, so she whispered to Chen Yakin. Let's go and wait for them in the car. Chen Yakin nodded. She reached out to the tombstone, touched Meng Ping's face in the photo, and whispered to him, let's go. Little Nail waved to Meng Ping in the photo, Dad, goodbye. Su Jiaking gave the other bouquet of flowers to Zhang Chen. She knew that Zhang Chen wanted to visit Fu Baixi's tomb. The group of people had already left, and Zhang Chen also walked deeper into the cemetery. Lu Ligan was still sitting in front of Meng Ping's tomb. Li Yang stood there, holding an umbrella for Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan asked Li Yang. Did Lao Meng scold me before he left? Li Yang shook his head, and Lu Ligan turned to look at Meng Ping's photo and said. Lao Meng, why did you let me go so easily? Why didn't you scold me properly? Lao Meng, aren't you very articulate? Why didn't you scold me? Li Yang, do you still remember that time? You took us to Purple Mountain to gamble, and that time you scolded us so fiercely and happily that it also woke us up. It's useless, Li Yang said. If I knew that Lao Meng later went to Hangzhou and you two gamblers went to speculate in futures, I would really chop off your hands. Lu Ligan laughed and said to Meng Ping. Did you hear that, Lao Meng? We are indeed two gamblers, two humming people who deserve to be chopped off, but damn, why am I still fine and you are no longer here, Lao Meng, Lao Meng. Thank you to Changsha Hughes Hung, Yi K Bulletin Yi, UN 11, Fengzi Jungle Spinach, and Book Friends 201805121221105118 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 1960. After returning to Hangzhou from Nanjing, Lu Ligan became very busy and very idle. He was idle during the day and busy at night. Every night, he would treat guests at the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel. After eating, he would wash his feet or sing. He didn't go home until midnight every day. Tan Shahen knew what he was doing and didn't bother to ask. There is one thing Tan Shahen is sure of, that is, Lu Ligan is outside, and he will not give in no matter what. For example, when singing at KTV, he will cuddle, and in the end, he may even open a room and make arrangements for others. The little sister on the stage, but he himself, will never move. Tan Shahen knew it well, and Lu Ligan knew it even better. He knew that he was now on probation. As long as there was one breach, Tan Shahen would immediately sentence their relationship to death and execute it immediately, without any room for change. Every afternoon at 2 or 3 o'clock, Lu Ligan arrived at Zhang Chen's place. As soon as he came in, he showed off that he had slept in all his life. Zhang Chen looked at him and cursed, I think Tan Shahen's land will be plowed by you sooner or later. Lu Ligan laughed. Then he sat down to brag with Zhang Chen, regardless of whether he had something to do or not. If he had something to do, Zhang Chen would just walk away. He would sit there alone, look at his phone, or fall down and take another nap on the sofa. When he had nothing to do, he just sat on the side, smoking, drinking tea, and bragging. At 5:40 in the afternoon, Lu Ligan went downstairs on time and went to the box below to wait for his guests. Zhang Chen had always refused to this kind of banquet. Lu Ligan invited him several times, but Zhang Chen didn't bother him. So Lu Ligan had no choice but to go alone. Sometimes Tan Shahen would come over after get off work, but Tan Shahen didn't bother to eat this kind of meal. Although she knew all the people Lu Ligan invited, Tan Shahen would not go with Lu Ligan because she said she was fine. There is no need to chat with those people. Chatting can easily cause trouble. She would rather eat with Zhang Chen in Zhang Chen's office. Xiao Fang usually eats in her office. Occasionally, she will come over to eat with them. After the relationship between Tan Shahen and Lu Ligan was made public, Tan Shahen consciously refused to appear with Lu Ligan. She did not want others to say in the future that she relied on Lu Ligan. Zhang Chen asked Lu Ligan, "Are you going to tell the world that Hu Hansen is back?" "Of course, I must be the first to invite them as soon as possible. We can't suddenly meet them by chance on some occasion. If we meet by chance, they will have a knot in their hearts. When you come back, you won't even say a word, but they will still smile at you in person. Rehua, but this knot will never be untied from now on. Didn't you see that before I invited everyone here, I didn't go anywhere and just stayed here with you?" Zhang Chen frowned and said, "Why the hell do you hate it so much? There is a crow making noise in my ears every day. You think I'm willing? You're not a humming beauty, and I'm tired of looking at you." Lu Ligan said, "Come here, let me show you the beauty." As Lu Ligan spoke, he dialed Wen Wen's phone number. As soon as the call came through, Lu Ligan told them that he was at Zhang Chen's place. Wen Wen and Qian both yelled, "I want to hug brother Zhang Chen." Wen Wen and Qian came to video chat with Zhang Chen. While Zhang Chen was chatting with them, Wen Wen and Qian refused to leave. They had a lot to say. Lu Ligan snatched the phone from Zhang Chen's hand and shouted, "The call is over. If you want to talk to Niwai again, you can call yourself. It's father-daughter channel time. Show me Lu Wenqian quickly." Wen Wen put the mobile phone in front of Lu Wenqian. When Lu Wenqian saw Lu Ligan on the screen, she giggled, yelled "Papa, Papa," and then burst into tears with a wow. Lu Ligan quickly said, "Wenqian doesn't cry, Wenqian doesn't cry, Dad is here, Dad is here." Lu Ligan said, but his eyes were already red. Zhang Chen stood up and walked out, leaving Lu Ligan alone in the office. When Zhang Chen came back, he saw Lu Ligan sitting there alone. When he saw Zhang Chen come in, he looked at Zhang Chen and wanted to say something but couldn't. When Zhang Chen also sat down on the sofa, he asked, "Will you be so sad when Bai Bei goes to the United States?" Zhang Chen said no, he was already so old when he went to the United States. Besides, he was with Xiao Fang when he went there. What should I be sad about? He was not alone. But my daughter is still with Wen Wen Qian. When I think about it, why am I still sad? Lu Ligan asked. "I understand you," Zhang Chen said. "When Zhang Xiangbei was very young, I would be sad to see him." When I was in elementary school," Zhang Chen said. "A few days I went to see him off. There was a long alley in front of their school. I sent him to the entrance of the alley and saw him carrying such a big school bag. When he walked in alone, I looked at that. I feel sad about the back view. I feel that he has to face the world alone and is a bit isolated. I also feel that at such an old age, he has to experience things that he doesn't like, which will be sad." Zhang Chen said. Lu Lepol nodded, "A bit like." Lu Ligan said that when I was carrying her, I felt at ease in my heart. I felt that as long as I was around, she would be safe. When I looked at her through the screen, I also felt that it was difficult for her to face the world at such a young age. It was too difficult to be separated. Although she had been abandoned by her parents since she was a child, at that time, she was probably unconscious and could not feel the pain. It is different now. Besides, I can't bear the thought that I forced all this on her, Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Not only have you become more plain-minded, but your heart has also softened." "I turned out to be a murderer?" Lu Ligan asked. Lu Ligan treats guests every day. He starts with those who have retired. Zhang Chen asked him why. Lu Ligan said that these people are the most sensitive. They have just gone through the stage of people getting tired of tea, and they should not be allowed to feel that I am treating them badly. They forget. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Aren't you asking for trouble? Don't you find it annoying to do this kind of thing every day? Wouldn't it be enough to set up 10 tables, invite all the people who should be invited at once, have a feast for the guests, and tell them that you are back? Is it necessary to go to such trouble? Big banquet guests? That means you didn't invite them and invited them in vain," Lu Ligan said. Treating guests is a philosophical question. When a person feels that he is only 1%, will he feel that he is valued? This kind of meal, many people will regret that they are stupid and come to attend the banquet for guests. For example, only people like Li Yong can do it when they return to Hangzhou, not me. What's the difference? Zhang Chen asked. The difference is huge. When Li Yong comes back, if he invites guests, no matter how many people are invited, the people invited will feel valued. The leader has not forgotten himself. Even if he is 1 in 1,000%, he will be honored. It is very important. Regarding face matters, on the contrary, not becoming the 1% is a very shameless thing. Not only do I lose face, but I also feel uneasy and wonder, if so many people called the leader but didn't call me, does he have an opinion on me? If I don't understand clearly and do this, then I'm out of my mind. Those who attend see themselves appearing with those who don't want to meet, and they will feel that attending is a shameless thing. He attended, you're just humming trying to give me some face, can you do the same? You must invite him alone to show respect for him. Li Yong has gone beyond the level of respecting anyone in Hangzhou. Respect is always from the bottom to the top. Zhang Chen thought about it and realized that there was such a truth. He had never figured it out clearly and was too lazy to figure it out. However, Lu Ligan and Meng Ping seemed to be born with a keen sense of the subtle differences. This is also the reason why they can do real estate, but they never know how to do it and cannot do it. Not long ago, real estate was a face-saving industry that mixed relationship science and thick black science, and I seemed to know nothing about it. You must have patience, Lu Ligan said. I am now reconnecting myself with my past. Look at the doctor who repaired the broken arm. If he wants to regenerate his broken arm, he must have enough patience. Connect the blood vessels and meridians one by one. If you connect the wrong one, it will be short-circuit and the connection will not be possible. Zhang Chen waved his hand and said, "Okay, don't tell me this, I'm too lazy to know." It's a miracle that a boss like you can survive. Lu Ligan stared at Zhang Chen, shook his head and said. Lu Ligan had invited guests for more than 2 weeks in a row. This afternoon, he told Zhang Chen that it was okay. I had already confirmed 8 pieces of land for AB/U0026B. He would take time to come with me. Zhang Chen was surprised and asked, "Every day you either brag at my place or invite people to dinner, and the people you invite are all old comrades who have retired. You haven't gone anywhere, how come you found a place?" Lu Ligan laughed proudly and said, "I just use the surplus value of the old comrades. Let me tell you, the mentality of the old comrades is very different between now and in the past. When he was in office, many people asked him for help. When you asked him, you also asked him for help. When he is not in his seat, if he feels that you respect him and you are still on the road, at this time, on the other hand, he will be afraid that he cannot help you." Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen continued to explain that although these old comrades have retired, their face is still there. The people he promoted and helped are still there. Hangzhou is a provincial capital, and the cadres of the provincial capital and others are still there. The places are different. Generally, when you reach the deputy office, you will be sent to the following counties and cities for training and hold deputy county and city level positions. These old comrades can be said to be their former subordinates all over the province. The 2 acres of land used as AB/U0026B is nothing. It is just a trivial matter to break the news. Just call them and they won't help? People are all about emotions, so this little bit of face will still be given. Hasn't Lu Changcheng returned to Hangzhou? If he opens his mouth now, I'm afraid he can get 50B/U0026B land, right? Lu Ligan said. By the way, Zhang Chen, when will you invite Lu Changcheng to a meal, bar? Zhang Chen suddenly became nervous and asked, what the hell do you want to do? I won't do this kind of thing. Lu Ligan laughed loudly. I see you are nervous. Don't get me wrong. I just think Mr. Lu is good. He cared a lot about me in the past. I just wanted to treat him to dinner to thank him. I couldn't invite him when I was in office. I'm back, you should have this opportunity. Don't worry, I promise I won't say a word related to business. I'm not that vulgar. Zhang Chen breathed a sigh of relief. That's pretty much it? Let's find an opportunity in a few days. In fact, I've already treated him to dinner twice. By the way, Zhangzi, don't make any arrangements for tomorrow's weekend. I'll introduce you to a beautiful woman. Who is it? Lu Ligan asked. Lu Yun, she came back from the United States today and will come to Hangzhou tomorrow. Ah, Lu Ligan suddenly became nervous. Zhang Chen looked at him and smiled. Don't you want to be reborn after breaking your arm and connect yourself with the past? Lu Yun should be a part of your past, right? Don't be afraid, don't be afraid, Tan Shahen will come too, they are good friends now. Tan Shahen didn't tell you. Lu Ligan quickly said, Zhang Chen, I have honestly confessed the matter of Wen Wen and Qian to Tan Shahen, but I have never confessed the matter of Lu Yun. Then let it go and don't mention it again. Don't worry, Lu Yun probably has no intention of getting back on good terms with you. Tan Shahen doesn't know about Lu Yun and you either. Don't cause too much trouble. The one Tan Shahen is worried about is Huang Meili. After Zhang Chen finished speaking, he looked at Lu Ligan and laughed. Thank you Wen Sanliu for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you Wen Sanliu, Zhao 1017, Zipanjiang 1, Huanyu Len Muo, Tan Ge 2017, and Des Higuo for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1961. Lu Yun went to the United States this time because of the listing of Hanzhou Zulu Bang's Black Forest food on Nasdaq. In November, Hanzhou Zulu Bang and his Black Forest food, as well as Lin Shuwen's LinkedIn Education, will be listed on Nasdaq. Doc is listed. Lu Yun and Xiao Fang were in Zhang Chen's office. Zhang Chen called Zhang Xiangbei and asked him to come over for dinner in the evening. Zhang Xiangbei refused. He said, I don't have time. I'm so busy that I have to divide everything 3 times. Let go. Zhang Chen laughed when he heard this. When Zhang Chen made a call, he pressed the speaker phone. Lu Yun and Xiao Fang heard this and laughed too. Zhang Xiangbei heard their laughter and asked quickly, where are Dad, Godmother, and Aunt Xiao Fang? Yes, otherwise why would I call you? Zhang Chen said. Damn it. It's too abrupt, Godmother, Aunt Xiao Fang, I'm sorry Zhang Xiangbei quickly explained, the main reason is that during this period, I have dealt with too many vegetable farmers and loaders. Lu Yun smiled and said, it's good, Bai. Your Yale ones have become Lanciangs. They are very rustic. Bai, if you are busy, you don't need to come over. After we have eaten, we will go over to your place to have a look. Zhang Xiangbei said okay, you are welcome. Zhang Chen put down the phone and looked at Lu Yun and Xiao Fang. The 3 of them laughed again. Lu Yun said, Bai, this is completely literary language. Zhang Chen said yes, it is still from the yam and egg pie. What is it that makes you smile so happily? Tan Shahen asked as Tan Shahen and Lu Ligan came in from outside. When Lu Yun saw Lu Ligan, she was stunned for a moment, then stretched out her hand and said, "Hello, long time no see." Lu Lizan held Lu Yun's hand and said, "It's been a long time." Tan Shahen knew that Lu Yun was a classmate of Chen Qiang, Sun Ho, and Li Yong. When Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan were in Hainan, Lu Yun was also in Hainan. Lu Ligan and Lu Yun knew each other. She thought it was normal. Although Lu Ligan's his expression looked a little unnatural, and Tan Shahen also thought that Lu Ligan was embarrassed because of his disappearance. Tan Shahen and Lu Ligan had just sat down when Han Emperor Lu Bang and Wang Minsheng arrived. Lu Yun invited them to the conference table to chat with them about their trip to the United States. Here Zhang Chen and the four of them were sitting and chatting. After a while, Lin Shuwen and Lao Yang arrived. As shareholders of LinkedIn Education, it was Xiao Fang who called them over to arrange a road show in the United States. The three of them went to Zhang Chen's desk. On the sofa, only Zhang Chen, Lu Ligan, and Tan Shahen were left. Lu Ligan looked at them, laughed, and said to Zhang Chen, "This office is amazing, look. There are 3 bosses of listed companies sitting here, and you are the only one who refuses to go public." After Zhang Chen and Tan Shahen heard this, they both laughed. Tan Shahen said, "To be honest, I regret going public now. If I had not gone public, I would not have any pressure now and I would definitely not take any land, further shrinking the company's size. This is a siege. Those outside want to get in, and those inside want to get out," Zhang Chen said. After the two sides finished talking, they went to the box below to finish their meal, and then went to Jibao's Zaixian delivery together. There are only 2 days left until September 15. Tomorrow evening, vegetables from Ningxia and Yunnan will be delivered to the 3 cities here. The next day, vegetables from Guangdong, Henan, Hebei, and Shandong will also start to be transported. Zhang Xiangbei's midterm exam is about to begin. Zhang Chen and the others parked their car at the entrance of Zaixian delivery and walked in. The entire workshop was brightly lit upstairs and downstairs. Everyone was busy debugging and installing equipment. When they saw them arriving, Zhang Xiangbei left. When he came over, he was wearing a set of work clothes and a pair of gauze gloves on his hands, and he was moving things with the workers. As he walked, he took off his gauze gloves and held them in his hands. Lu Yun saw his outfit and smiled, "Yes, Bai Bei, you do look like Lan Xiang's." Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang both laughed. Zhang Xiangbei was a little embarrassed and also laughed. The others didn't know what was funny in it. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, discovered a problem and said, "Bai Bei, 3 mothers suddenly appeared. Can't you even call me?" This refers to Xiao Fang, Tan Shahen and Lu Yun. Everyone laughed and Zhang Xiangbei blushed. Zhang Xiangbei walked around with them, and Lao Yang asked, "Bai Bei, where is Xiao Wu, why didn't you see him?" Zhang Xiangbei said, "He went to Nanjing. He has been keeping an eye on me in Nanjing these past few days." "Where's the fat man? Didn't you see him?" Zhang Chen asked. "He went to Shanghai, and he will be watching in Shanghai." Zhang Xiangbei said. Zhang Chen nodded, and Han Emperor Lu Bang said, "Bai Bei, it seems that you have entered a state of combat readiness." When the group arrived upstairs, they saw Zhou Ruyi and Wu Huan in the hall, and they all came over to greet them. Zhang Xiangbei told them that Zhou Ruyi was going to Guangzhou tomorrow, and she would stay in Guangdong to assist our Guangdong branch. Mr. Lin of the company has developed the distribution business in Guangzhou and Shenzhen. When you are preparing for the official launch here, the preparatory work over there has already begun, right? Lu Yun asked. Wu Huan said, "Yes, isn't it a race to gain territory? We need to move quickly and not let other companies come back to their senses and get ahead of us." Lu Yun nodded. "Godmother, I have something to discuss with you," Zhang Xiangbei said to Lu Yun, and Lu Yun agreed. The two of them walked to the empty room next to them, and Lu Yun asked, "What's the matter, Bai Bei?" "I want to have someone with you," Zhang Xiangbei said. "Who?" Lu Yun asked. "Aunt Wenwen." Zhang Xiangbei said, "What we are most worried about now is that JD.com will rise very quickly. After all, their logistics and distribution systems are complete. All we need to do is build the fresh keeping cabinets and sign a cooperation agreement with the community. So we think that Beijing and Tianjin cannot wait, and before community distribution is officially launched here, preparatory work must be done there." "You want Wenwen to be in charge of that business, right?" Lu Yun asked. "Yes, after much thought, she is the most suitable. Not only is she familiar with people in Beijing and Tianjin, she is also responsible for the half-acre logistics space in those two places. She went to establish branches." "Get up," soon Zhang Xiangbei said. Lu Yun thought about it and felt that if Wenwen could go to Beijing, she would indeed be the most suitable candidate. Zhang Xiangbei was right. Not to mention that she had to get ahead of JD.com, even the fresh home delivery business was after Beijing unfolds, Jingdong will definitely not let it go and will fight immediately. Beijing is Jingdong's foothold. How can they give up to each other next to their bed? If there is not a very strong person, he really may not be able to cope with this challenge. Lu Yun can't think of a more suitable candidate than Wenwen. But the problem is that Wenwen is currently in the live broadcast room of Colorful Network. If not, would she have such a wish? Lu Yun and Zhang Xiangbei said, "Bai Bei, I have no problem here, but I just don't know whether Wenwen is willing to go. In the final analysis, this kind of thing can only be done by work, and force cannot be forced. I will find her tomorrow. Let's talk Wenwen." "No, no, godmother, as long as you agree, I'll do the work myself at Wenwen's place," Zhang Xiangbei said. "I'll go now, Wenwen is still doing live broadcasts in the company." Lu Yun said, "Okay, then it depends on your ability." Zhang Xiangbei walked out, called Wu Huan and said, "Let's go." Zhang Chen was surprised and asked, "Where are you going?" "There's something good going on," Zhang Xiangbei said with a smile. He and Zhou Ruyi said, "You accompany them, Wu Huan and I will go out." Zhou Ruyi said yes. Zhang Xiangbei didn't even change into his work clothes, and took Wu Huan away like a whirlwind. Lu Yun walked out. Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang looked at Lu Yun. Lu Yun told them the matter. Everyone felt that Zhang Xiangbei and the others had the right idea, and Wenwen was indeed the best candidate. "This Wenwen, is she so awesome now? If not, I'll go talk to her," Lu Ligan shouted, and was immediately kicked by Tan Shahen. Lu Yun smiled and said, "It's okay. Bai Bei is so confident that he will talk to Wenwen. I think he must have already thought of a countermeasure. Let's just wait for the result." Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan drove to the Sky City E-Commerce Industrial Park, and when they walked into the live broadcast hall of Colorful Network, Wenwen was still live broadcasting in her live broadcast room, and it was not over. The entire live broadcast hall has a rest area in the middle, with a coffee shop and fitness equipment. There are 2 floors around it, which are divided into live broadcast rooms, each with an area of 189 square meters. Each live broadcast room, according to each anchor, habits and characteristics, arranged in different styles. The live broadcast room is close to the door of the hall. There is a glass window above. When the anchor is broadcasting, the seat he sits is facing this glass window. If you want to talk to her about anything, you can say hello to her here. The anchor can see it, but the audience can't see it. Zhang Xiangbei walked to the glass window of Wenwen's live broadcast room. Wenwen saw him. Zhang Xiangbei gestured with her to indicate that he was waiting for her. Wenwen waved his hand. The audience on the other side of the screen thought Wenwen waved at them, but actually she was greeting Zhang Xiangbei. When Zhang Xiangbei came back, Wu Huan had poured 2 cups of coffee. Zhang Xiangbei sat down and the 2 of them were waiting. They waited for more than 10 minutes. Wen Wen's live broadcast ended. She hurriedly walked out. Seeing Zhang Xiangbei's appearance, she asked, "Bai Bei, are you traveling in disguise? It's so late, why are you two here? What's the emergency?" "We are here to move reinforcements," Zhang Xiangbei said. "Look, I didn't even have time to change my clothes." "Move reinforcements? What reinforcements? Who are you trying to save?" Wen Wen asked. "You, please save us," Zhang Xiangbei said. Wen Wen chuckled, "Do you want to help you fight? Wait, I'll get the needle." "What are you doing with the needle?" Wu Huan asked, confused. "Poke the other person, poke his eyes and nose, poke his face, poke him into a pockmark," Wen Wen said. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan laughed. Wen Wen wiped her face with her hands. Her face that had been smiling just now suddenly became serious. She said, "Okay, let's get down to business." Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan told Wen Wen that they wanted to invite Wen Wen to go to Beijing to serve as the general manager of their northern company and expand the fresh food distribution business in Beijing and Tianjin. Wen Wen quickly waved her hands and said, "No, no, I'm already an old woman, and you still want me to fight and kill." Wu Huan quickly said, "Who said you are old? Let's go to your live broadcast room and let the audience see it. People must say that I am older than you. It is polite to say that I am your sister. They must be saying in their hearts, why did Wen bring the old aunt here?" Wen Wen giggled. Wu Huan said, "Don't think I don't know, your fans call you fairy sister." Zhang Xiangbei said, "It is because Beijing is a fierce battle that you, a veteran, are needed to take action." Wen Wen reached out and slapped the glass table, shouting, "What do you two mean? Say, Wu Huan, you have been saying that I am not old and that I am a fairy sister. You, Zhang Xiangbei, also call me a veteran. Please tell me clearly, am I old or not?" Zhang Xiangbei said quickly, "Veteran doesn't mean that you are old, but that you have rich experience. Hua Mulan was just a little girl when she was a general. You are more heroic than Hua Mulan." Wen Wen giggled, "That's pretty much it? Thank you Lao Zi, my heart is dancing, why can't I change my name, and Lao Chintang's monthly ticket? Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone."